Yeah guys, I'm finally ready, hopefully, to leave. This was the craziest preparation I had for any trip. I had so much going wrong. 3 weeks ago I decided to revert my tune back, so take my unit chip back out, take the G-turbo out, mainly because it didn't really work without a unit chip, just for the fact that I lost fifth gear for a little while. However, that seems to be really unrelated, but I still wasn't 100% happy with how it shifts after the tune. Rodney from Wyong Auto Transmission also suggested that it wouldn't be really good for the longevity of the gearbox how it shifts at the moment, because it bump slides the gears in. So I decided to reverse it. Shouldn't have been a big job, because removing the unit chip is probably 2 hours. Then I had my OEM turbo rebuilt by MTQ, and to swap that over is another few hours. However, when we pulled that all out, we found that someone left a piece of cloth in the air intake pipe, fairly likely during the installation of the turbo and unit chip, because really that part wasn't touched afterwards. That piece of cloth, just not destroyed the turbo, but certainly damaged it because it went through it. And then we found out that it went somewhere and got caught all in the intercooler. But that meant I needed a new intercooler. So all of a sudden, the one-day job turned into nearly 1.5 weeks job. HPD, actually, thank you very much, guys. Super service. They pretty much built me a new intercooler within a day and then sent that out from Adelaide. So that meant I didn't have the car for the past 2 weeks to really do packing and get everything prepared. Further to that, when we were just ready to leave, have all that sort, my wife got sick. Unfortunately, she hardly ever gets sick, so that's wasn't good. And that meant I had to cancel the Simpson leg and stay here a few days longer, which in a way gave me a chance to pack properly. And hopefully now tomorrow we are heading off. But I thought I'd show you quickly my packing setup. Yeah, that's really a new setup. It's the first time I travel with a platform. Before I just removed the seats. But this time now I have a platform, which means I can strap them down much better. Two Expedition 134 dustproof boxes. One is for camera gear, one is for food. My recovery kit, it's a bit more food, drones. My sleeping stuff fits behind it. It took me a little while to figure out how to do that now best, but that hopefully will work quite well. My sleeping bags and so on top. Then, I've got quite a few now of these drifter bags, the canvas bags, and they are brilliant in my book to not have stuff loose flying around. So in here is my chair and a few little bits and bobs. Underneath here is my first aid kit, and under that is my Yorktown tool roll. So previously all the space was taken up by my tools. But with the Yorktown roll now, that size it has gone down dramatically. That's my rear fridge. On top my stretcher, few other small light things. Shovel on the roof. We have another box of food. And then at the bottom box is spare parts or some more spare parts and so on. A bit more camera gear, shoes. Quite important. Dan from 17th South put me onto this air blower. Quite a handy thing in the desert, because it really, you can dust your car down before you open it, all the dust comes in, so that's quite handy. And that is my front setup. Here's my Spot 3. One iPad goes here, that's a secondary iPad. I use a few of that MSA organizers for the front and rear. It's 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm leaving for the canning now. That's it. We're just in Orange. I had the car on the weighbridge, so fully loaded, all tanks full, including myself in the vehicle, is 3.89 ton, which is pretty much what I actually estimated. And that's still 300 kilogram under my GVM. Lincoln Caravan Park. What do you reckon, Dave?
It will do the job nicely.
$50, you can't really complain too much. Morning guys, first day, we at the Lincoln Caravan Park. Yeah, my night was alright. We stayed in one of the cheap quarters, which is $50 for a simple room, just with a basin in and a bed, which is fine. All corrugated iron, that was all good. A good value for money. It's room 16 to 19. However, unfortunately, the old style air conditioning, the square air conditioning, it was rattling the corrugated iron walls like no tomorrow. So I had a chat with the manager. Then they had fortunately one bigger cabin available which didn't have that noise, which was good. I'm not sure how Dave slept. He was 2 cabins further. So on the road now and see what the day brings. Maybe make it to Peterborough. Good morning. Tuesday morning. I'm at Broken Hill. We just stayed in the cabin again, the caravan park. Went for a pretty damn long walk last night. Tried to find a pub, the lady told us. Was supposed to be 2 roundabouts away, and we must have walked 1.5 hours and ended up at McDonald's. Maybe popping into Wiluna camp on the way in Peterborough. Campen travel Australia since the early 70s and have seen more of remote Australia than most. So I'm really looking forward to meet him in person. Very professional. There he is. Willem, how are you? How are you, Matt?
Yeah, good to meet you.
Yes.
Come inside. And you?
David.
David, right.
Dave, Willem, yeah. Fresh and cold.
My Matt. I haven't been everywhere, but I've been a lot of places.
Shit.
Especially in Victoria and New South Wales and Queensland, all the big roads.
Yeah. It was our first night camping and it was freezing. So I'm definitely gonna be on a double sleeping bag solution tonight, that's for sure. Morning, Dave.
Morning, Stephen.
First night camping. What adjustments need to be made?
Extra warmth.
Yeah, that is ice on the windscreen. Next stop for us was Coober Pedy, which is a small mining town halfway between Adelaide and Alice Springs. Coober Pedy has over 250,000 mine shafts, and the surrounding landscape really looks like a moonscape with all the earth mounts. Many local residents also dig dugouts as houses, and live underground because it has all year round a constant temperature. Our next stop was Colgera Roadhouse, where we filled up and had a coffee. We then decided to camp the night at Old Owen Springs Station, which was the first cattle station in the Northern Territory. This was also the first time that we hit some dirt road, and the first time I could use my new Ultravision Nitro Max light bars. Owen Springs Station is now a nature reserve. However, the indigenous Aranda people have lived on that land for many thousand years before in 1873 William Gilbert obtained the lease for Owen Springs Station. The station was stocked with cattle and horses, and 2 log huts were constructed. It was purchased in 1896 by Sir Sidney Kidman, the Cattle King. It had various different owners before it became the Owen Springs Nature Reserve in April 2003, and it is now managed by the Parks and Wildlife Commission for the Northern Territory. The homestead and yards were heritage listed in 2004. Just here at Owen Springs. We pulled up again in the dark. We just set up camp here quickly because I want to do some astro shots. But yeah, turns out we already digging both in our Radix freeze-dried meals because it's just quick. Can't be bothered cooking now. So just a bit of hot water in the bag. Let it stand for 15-17 minutes, and that's it, and it tastes pretty good actually. I have wild venison with leek and thyme, and that is actually very nice. I tried.
Okay. It is good. Again, very pleasantly surprised.
After leaving Owen Springs, we went into Alice Springs for final stock up. We also had to decide whether to take the Stewart and Buntin Highway, which would be over 2,000 kilometers, or the corrugated road through the Tenamai, which is only 800 kilometers. We opted for the Tenamai. We left Alice Springs midday, and given that the Tenamai trek is nearly 800 kilometers, we started and then opted to stay at Tilmouth Well, which is quite a nice campground, to have a shower and so that we could start early morning to Bililuna. On the Tilmouth Well service station, we encountered one of the road trains, and I thought it would be interesting to show how big these trains really are. They drive on sealed and unsealed roads. The Tenamai trek is the most direct route from Alice Springs to the Kimberleys, and it passes through Bililuna and Halls Creek. Up to Halls Creek it is over 1,000 kilometers. About 20% of the road is bitumen, but the remainder is dirt and gravel and can be heavily corrugated. The last service station is Tilmouth Well, so you need to factor that in when traveling it, because you won't have any chance to get fuel before Bililuna. A big question always is, how do I drive best over corrugation? Slow or fast, low or high tire pressure? We found that lower tire pressure of around 25 psi and speed above 60 to 70 kilometers work best. To demonstrate this, I make use of my sophisticated GoPro corrugation measurement device. Just have a look at the GoPro at the front when I slow down. That really shows you corrugation. Look at that, how that's moving. Feels like it's ripped out there. As soon as I take the speed up here, it becomes far more steady. Now I'm sitting at 190, yeah, and it's rock solid. So if you have good suspension, a bit of speed over the corrugation certainly does help. In general, if you drive unsealed roads, if you have oncoming traffic, go as far as possible left and slow down, and especially for that big road trains. And be aware they throw a lot of rocks up which can easily damage your windscreen.
Pretty windy as you hear. The good thing though is it keeps the flies away. Reasonably away.
Shit, he's quick with that fly net now. I'm telling you. We ended up in Bililuna late Saturday afternoon. Unfortunately, it was a bit too late to get fuel. While we could have actually gotten fuel when we paid cash, but we weren't sure whether we could pay via card in Gunnawarrigi. We decided to spend the Sunday at Wolfe Creek Crater, and we're hoping that we didn't run into Mick, and then fill up on Monday morning and start the canning. On the way to Wolfe Creek, we stopped by at Mick's place and said hello to him. However, he was fairly busy with two backpackers and usually doesn't take disturbances too lightly, so we said hello and continued on our merry way. Yeah, we're here at Wolfe Creek, huge meteorite crater right behind us. After a long day driving via the Tenemi Road. It's not a road, Dave, huh?
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's wide like a road.
But very patchy. Sometimes it's very smooth and even, but then other times you have pretty bad corrugation. However, worse corrugation in here to Wolfe Creek.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we did a little shortcut and bypassed most of it, but yeah, that was pretty heavy. The local Jaru people refer to the crater as Gandimala. There are multiple Dreamtime stories about the formation of the crater. One story is that one day the crescent moon and the evening star passed very close to each other, and the evening star became so hot that it fell to the ground, causing an enormous explosion and flash, followed by a dust cloud. These frightened the local people, and a long time passed before they ventured near the crater to see what had happened. When they finally went there, they realized that this was a site where the evening star had fallen to Earth. Creek, pretty stunning sunset. I was planning to alternate the food with some cooking, but so far none of us has cooked yet. Because that freeze-dried stuff actually tastes pretty damn good and it's so convenient. So today, wild venison, leek and thyme, Mexican chili with organic beef, or I think that's what I'm gonna have, Thai-style wild Alaskan salmon. It's Sunday morning at Wolfe Creek. Just gonna walk up to the crater now, take a picture. Off to Wolfe Creek, doing the crater walk. A little bit windy, but keeps us a bit cooler, I reckon. Just came back, walked 4.2 kilometers around the rim and 1 hour and 16 minutes. Yeah, it's Monday morning, fairly early, or I mean Western Australian time, probably around 7 o'clock. And we today start the canning. At 9 o'clock the service station, if you want to call it, opens in the community store, and we're gonna fill up and then make our way on the canning. In the next episode we will fill up at Bililuna. We meet a distant relative of Alfred Canning. I lose one of my antennas and we meet a very game push bike rider. We also see the first victims of the canning stock route, test a bush shower and do a bit of electrical troubleshooting on the Rangy. On top of that we discover some absolutely stunning countryside and we spend the night at Braden Pool and Godfrey's Tank. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed part 1. It will only get better from here. Please remember, if you like my videos, it would be greatly appreciated if you like it, if you share it, and let me know, have you been on the canning or are you planning to do the canning? Also, all my videos are self-funded, so if you can, maybe join me as my Patreon supporter. With $5 a month, you get early access to all the videos and you would really help me to recover some of the costs for the videos.